3:01. This meeting of the Finance Committee for August 14th, 2025 is hereby called to order. Will the clerk please call the roll call?
Alderman at Large Keith Larson.
Here.
Alderman Dan Barrero.
Present.
Alderman Edward Bugg.
Here.
Vice Chair Carl Franco.
Here.
And Chairman Masiacos is present.
Thank you. Clerk, can you read the approval of the minutes?
Item 25-0601, approval of the minutes from the Finance Committee meeting held on July 24th, 2025.
So moved. Second.
All right, I have a motion by Alderman Franco, a second by Alderman Barrero. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Clerk, do we have members of the public wishing to provide public comment?
No, we do not.
All right, then, would you please read the first item on the agenda?
Item 25-0588, an ordinance authorizing a 100% principal forgiveness loan agreement public water supply loan program home rule entity for the lead service line replacement project.
Good afternoon, John Hoffman with the Engineering Division. So this is our third grant that we've received through the IEPA, but I wanted to kind of circle back to kind of give an update on where we're at with our five-year project plan. So back in 2021, we submitted a five-year project plan. These have to be approved to be able to apply for any of the IEPA loans or the grants. So we applied for 5 projects at $4 million each. So we did submit for our first project in 2022 for $4 million. We received that entire amount, and at that time they had moved grant money from one portion of the IEPA's funds to specifically lead service replacements. So there were no requirements other than just having a project plan available. So we did about 700 service replacements on that project. In 2023, we applied again, but that extra grant money they brought over was all used up. So it kind of went back to grant money was available based on disadvantaged community requirements, which is based on median household income, and we're above that threshold. So we didn't receive any grant money in 2023, so we didn't do a project that year. 2024, we submitted for our second project, got a little over $3 million in grant money. They brought in new bipartisan infrastructure law money, and they also they went away from the MHI and went into census tract rankings. So they brought in specific census tract rankings that they thought applied to lead service replacements, like children under 6, some income thresholds and poverty and whatnot. So we submitted for 3 census tracts for that. We submitted our highest 3 ranking census tracts. So we did pretty well on that. Ranking-wise, we were 13th out of 45 applications. So that gave us some confidence that we could probably spread out a little more into additional census tracts. So we did, for this year's third project, we submitted for 6 census tracts. So that's giving us access to 7 wards that we can do replacements in. So we submitted for that, and we got the $2.465 million was set aside for us for that. So this ordinance has given us, authorization to proceed with bidding, going out to construction, authorizing a loan, and giving the mayor authorization to sign all the documents. So in total, these 3 projects will bring us to about $9.5 million of grant money we've received. And I also wanted to mention that we're in the process of extending our original 5-year project plan and another 5 years, so we can hopefully get in our project 4 and 5 if there's grant money available. But with that, just wanted to kind of bring you up to speed with where we're at, and then just open it up for any questions.
Question.
Alderman Franco.
So I want to make sure I get this straight. We're giving them census tracts because our census tracts are basically allowing us to show them the more poverty-stricken areas. So we're just using that as the way to go, right? Because is that what we're saying, that these areas that we have defined is based upon incomes and things like that, lower income? Is that how that works?
Yeah, so they set up like 6 or 7 categories, and each of them are assigned like a point system. And so we were able to take all those census tract metrics and plug it into like a spreadsheet. And so we ranked all of our, I believe we have like 40-some census tracts. We ranked all of those, pulled out the ones that had lead services in them, and then we were like, all right, we're going to submit these top 3 highest ranking ones. That's what we did our first time, because we didn't know who's going to be applying for these. And so it's a system that the IEPA created to kind of get away from, like, the disadvantaged community kind of is like a lot of our lead services are in lower income areas, and because our MHI was so high, it kind of was a disadvantage for us. So I think it was kind of like, there's lower income areas where a lot of the lead services are, so this is a way to kind of circumnavigate the MHI issue.
Right. Well, so we're using that, that makes sense if that was the criteria. So tell me about people who need lead service replacement who are not in those areas. What's happening with that? How does that relate to this? So we're going to do these 6 census tracts relatively soon, I'm assuming, as soon as we get the money?
Yeah, I mean, we're only going to be able to do portions
Okay.
of them, because there's roughly 4,500 lead services in
But it
those 6
does not
tracts.
mitigate us doing lead service lines anywhere else. It's just that the money that we're going to get is because of that. Is that correct? I mean, we're not saying we're going to get their lead service lines done, but somebody on the other side of town that's not in that thing is not going to get theirs done because of that. You know what I'm saying? That we're not pitting one against the other.
Right. Yeah, I think that's, it's tough because of the funding aspect of it. So this is where we can get funding to.
No,
to
I
do
get that.
Yeah.
But I guess I might be asking this wrong. My question is there any negative effect if you're not in one of these census tracts to get your lead service line done when you think you need to get done? Are we still going to get those done in a timely manner? Now, you know where I'm going with this type of thing. I'm just hoping that we do for one, but because of that, we can't get to these guys over here. That type of thing.
Right, and I guess I view these as like bonus replacements that we're getting extra money for.
Okay, no, that's kind
Yeah.
of what I was getting. I just want to make
Yeah.
sure we're not saying because of you, you're not getting it for a while. That type. It's just getting the money for that, but
Right.
we have our own money to use for some other people. Okay, because a child that doesn't live in the census tract that's going to drink lead water is not more or less important than somebody in the census tract that's going to get the money. That's where I'm going with this. That everybody's important. And I hope we're not saying, now we got to get you done first, but you kids are going to have to wait over here because your parents make more money.
Right.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, and I think this is more about being able to get the funding and not
Okay.
get passed up by other communities.
And that's kind of really why, that's fine, as long as that's only what this is about. It's not
Correct.
prioritizing who gets it done. That's really, I think, where I was going with this.
Mhm.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Guerrero.
I have a question. So I understand we have a plan to replace lead service lines, and we're doing it based on a number of different things, construction, and when we're replacing lines, big water mains and those kinds of things. But my question is dealing with the where most people live are like in apartment buildings, and if those apartment buildings have lead service lines, it seems to me like those would be priority areas because they touch more people. Are we looking at that as a possible way to address this?
We haven't really dove into apartments per se. There are like critical facilities that we have to annually check to see, like childcare, schools. There are certain critical facilities that have to be checked every year, but we haven't dove into apartments or high use areas yet.
Yeah, because it seems like quite a few apartment buildings were built, pre-'80s, which would mean they might be having these lead service lines, and if we could try to get those taken care of, we could take care of a lot more people.
Yeah, we can look into that and internally talk about.
Because I know in
That's
Ward 1 we
possible.
have quite a few of those large apartment buildings.
Right.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else on the committee with a question? Oh, Mr. Larson, Alderman Larson.
Thank you. Approximately how much money are we spending every year on lead service replacements, just to get a sense for like what percentage this is covering?
Gotcha. Are we like around 4? Yeah, we're roughly around $4 million we're spending on lead service replacement. So we're averaging about $9,000 per replacement. So We're kind of generally in the upper 400s for lead service replacements a year.
Okay, so this is a pretty significant increase on top of that. It's good.
Mhm.
Any other questions or comments on the item? Nope. Okay, hearing none, is there a
So
motion to
moved.
approve?
Second.
Motion by Alderman Carl Franco, second by Alderman Dan Barrero. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Clerk,
Thank you.
could you please read the next item on the agenda?
Item 25-0620, a resolution authorizing the renewal of the line of credit in the amount of $10 million with Old Second National Bank for a one-year term expiring on June 30th, 2026.
Good afternoon, Stacy Peterson, Chief Financial Officer. What you have in front of you is just to renew the line of credit. It expired in June of this year, so this is bringing the renewal notice forward. We currently have a line of credit with just Old Second National Bank for $10 million. The outstanding balance currently is $6,688,000. What we plan to do with this is renew it for 1 year, look at the finances of the city, and then potentially next year eliminate the line of credit.
I have a point, if you could clarify a little bit, especially for our alderman here that's new or to the city council, if you can explain how we came into a situation where we have a line of credit, how it came to be.
Yeah. Back in 2019, we actually worked with Fifth Third Bank and also Old Second, and established 2 lines of credit, and we used the line of credit to acquire various land acquisition, and also it facilitated economic development projects when we chose not to bond for them. And then we did issue a bond to pay off the Fifth Third line of credit. And then some of the economic development projects, when we receive repayment from those, that will go back to pay off the line of credit.
Presently, we have approximately 6.6 million is the line of credit.
Yeah,
existing.
6,688,000, so
Okay.
6.7.
All right, okay, all right. And that's going to carry over into this new line credit, so we can continue it, because that's expiring, correct?
Yes.
All right, all right. Any questions from the committee? Alderman Barrow.
Mr. Chair, yes, I have a question. Ms. Hamlin, so why just 1 year? Why not 2 or 3 years? It just seems kind of a short term. And what's the payment? You know, that we have X number payment, you know, what's the payment monthly, or does it, is something we choose what the payments are? How does that work?
This is, it's renewing the credit for 1 year. We do this on an annual basis to see if the city, if we're going to actually continue with it. The current interest rate is 6.39% on the existing amount that we have outstanding. So what we're going to do through the next budget process is look at the city's finances to see if we can pay down this line of credit and then discontinue it.
So you're hoping to extinguish it and not come back
Correct.
for an extension? Okay, thank you.
Yep. But we have to extend it because we'd have to pay the 6.7 million.
Okay, any other questions from the committee?
So moved.
Motion for approval
Second.
by Alderman Franco, second by Alderman Barrero. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. There is no need for a closed session.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, I have a motion by Alderman Franco, second by Alderman Bug. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries 5-0. The meeting is adjourned at approximately 3:16. Thank you very much, one and all.